Before I start the video today, I want you to close your eyes for just 1 second. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, the sun is coming through your window, you make your coffee or your tea, and then without thinking, you just start thinking in English naturally. Sentences are flowing, words are coming, and you feel something you have not felt before in English. Now open your eyes. That feeling is possible, and today I am going to show you exactly how to get there. Not through hours of study, not through expensive courses, not through memorizing thousands of words, just 5 minutes every morning. I know what you are thinking. 5 minutes sounds too easy, too simple. And honestly, you are right. It is simple. But simple is not the same as weak. Think about water. Water is soft and gentle, but water can cut through solid stone, not by force, but by consistency, drop after drop, for years, until the stone simply cannot resist anymore. That is exactly what 5 minutes every morning will do to your English. So make yourself comfortable, get your coffee or your tea, and let's begin. Let me ask you something honestly. When do you usually practice English? Maybe in the evening after work, maybe on weekends, maybe only when you feel motivated. And how is that working for you? Truly, if you are like most learners around the world, no matter which country you live in, the answer is not very well. And the reason is not because you are lazy, and it is not because English is too difficult for you. The real reason is something most teachers never explain clearly: timing. Your brain is not the same machine all day long. In the morning, right after sleep, your brain is fresh and clean, like a blank page waiting to be written on. Research tells us the brain is most receptive to learning in the first hour after waking up, which means whatever you do in that first hour quietly shapes your entire mindset for the rest of the day. Whatever you practice first in the morning, your brain treats as important. It says, "This matters. This is what we do now." And it slowly begins building automatic habits around that exact activity. This is why so many successful people around the world protect their mornings so carefully, not because they have more free time than you, and not because they are somehow special. It is simply because morning is the most powerful window of the entire day to build a real habit, and building a habit is precisely what fluency actually requires. I had been trying to learn English for almost 6 years. I took classes, I downloaded apps, I watched movies, and I tried long vocabulary lists. And after all of that effort, I could understand some English and read simple sentences. But speaking still felt completely impossible to me. Every single time I tried, my mind would go blank. One evening, sitting alone in the kitchen feeling completely frustrated with myself, I opened my phone and scrolled until I saw a short article with a simple title, "Change Your Morning, Change Your Language." One sentence inside it hit me like a wave. You don't need more time. You need better timing. I read that sentence 3 times, and something inside her quietly clicked into place. I realized I had been trying to study only after a full day of work, exactly when my brain was exhausted. That night, I made a decision. Every single morning, just 5 minutes, before doing anything else, before checking my phone, before the noise of the day began, just 5 minutes, only for English. I will come back to my story again in a moment, but first I need to explain something important that connects directly to why this actually works inside your brain. Most English learners around the world are practicing, yes, but at the wrong time, in the wrong way. They are doing what I call passive learning, watching videos without repeating anything, listening without responding, and reading silently without ever speaking out loud. Passive learning feels productive while you are doing it, but it quietly builds knowledge without ever building real skill. Speaking English works in exactly the same way. Your mouth genuinely needs physical practice. Your brain needs active use, not passive exposure. And the morning happens to be the perfect quiet window for that kind of active exercise. Now, when I say 5 minutes, I do not mean a casual, distracted 5 minutes while you are also checking your phone. I mean 5 focused, intentional, powerful minutes where your entire attention belongs only to English. Those 5 minutes, done every single morning without exception, will do more for your real fluency than 2 full hours of passive study done randomly once a week, simply because of the quiet power of consistency. A small fire that burns steadily every single day is far more powerful over time than a huge fire that only burns once a month. Let me explain something about how your brain actually builds habits, because truly understanding this will motivate you far more than any simple pep talk ever could. Your brain has what we can call a conscious system, the thinking and deciding part of your mind, the part that says, I should probably practice English today, the part that drives your car without you consciously thinking about every movement, the part that brushes your teeth without you ever deciding to, and the part that understands your native language instantly without ever translating it first. Real fluency lives entirely inside that automatic system. A native English speaker is never consciously choosing every single word as they speak. They are not silently thinking about grammar rules in their head. Their brain has already moved English fully into the automatic system, so speaking simply happens naturally for them, just like breathing happens naturally for you. Your real goal is moving English out of that slow, difficult conscious system and into that fast, natural, automatic one. And the only way the brain actually does this is through daily, consistent repetition. Every single morning you practice, even for just 5 minutes, you send your brain one clear signal. This is important. This happens daily. And this is genuinely part of our life now. And slowly, quietly, your brain begins making English automatic for you. Psychologists who study habits describe this exact process as a habit loop, made of 3 simple parts. First, the cue, something you already do every single morning without fail, like waking up or making your first cup of coffee. Second, the routine, which is your 5 minutes of focused English practice. Third is the reward, the small genuine feeling of satisfaction you get after completing it. When these 3 parts happen together, day after day, your brain slowly automates the entire habit, and after a few weeks, the cue alone will automatically trigger the routine, the exact same way you now reach for your phone in the morning without even consciously deciding to. We are going to make your English practice just as automatic as that. There is something genuinely fascinating that happens inside your brain right after you wake up, called the alpha wave state, a calm, open, relaxed state that is especially good at absorbing brand new patterns. This is actually why solutions to difficult problems sometimes arrive in your mind first thing in the morning, seemingly out of nowhere. When you practice English while your brain is in this specific state, it absorbs the sounds and rhythms of the language far more easily. You are also quietly setting the emotional tone for your entire day ahead. When you feel that small, genuine success of completing your 5 minutes, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine, and that feeling of small success makes you want to naturally continue, creating real motivation from the inside out, rather than forcing it from the outside in. This is the complete opposite of what most learners experience every day. forcing themselves to study using pure willpower, which is a genuinely limited resource that quietly runs out by the evening. A true morning habit runs on a completely different kind of fuel, the automatic system, and something even deeper than that, your own sense of identity. Let me ask you something honestly. When someone asks you to describe yourself, do you ever actually say, "I am an English speaker"? Probably not. Most learners around the world instead say, "I am trying to learn English," or "My English still is not good enough." And here lies the real problem. The way you quietly see yourself shapes exactly how you behave every single day. Your identity creates your habits, and your habits create your fluency. If you see yourself as merely someone trying to learn a language, you will only practice when you happen to feel like it, when you have spare time, or when motivation randomly shows up. But if you begin seeing yourself instead as an English speaker, someone who is already becoming fluent, someone for whom English is simply a normal daily part of life, then your entire behavior naturally shifts. You practice because that is genuinely who you are now, not because you feel forced to. Your morning habit is the single most powerful way to actually build that new identity. Every single morning you complete your 5 minutes, your brain quietly records a small vote. I am someone who practices English daily. I am becoming an English speaker. Those small votes accumulate silently over time. Your identity slowly shifts underneath the surface. And once your identity truly shifts, real fluency naturally follows behind it. Now let me give you the exact system, broken down into 5 clear, simple steps. 5 minutes might seem short at first, but I want you to think of it completely differently. These 5 minutes are never your only English practice for the day. They are your anchor, your daily foundation stone. On some days, they will naturally grow into 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, and that growth is wonderful. Let it happen naturally without forcing it. But the core commitment remains 5 minutes, completely non-negotiable, no matter how tired or busy you genuinely feel that day. Minute 1, the English wake up. The very moment you wake up, before you even touch your phone, you speak simple sentences out loud to yourself. Good morning. Today is going to be a good day. I am awake. I feel ready. Today I will practice my English. That is genuinely it. Simple sentences, spoken out loud, using your real voice. I already know what some of you are thinking. Jack, that is far too easy. Those sentences are too basic. And here is my honest answer to that. Basic is never bad. Basic is simply the foundation everything else is built upon. When you speak out loud during that very first minute of your day, 3 specific things happen inside you. First, you physically activate your mouth and your speaking muscles. Many learners are mentally ready and willing to speak English, but their mouth is physically unprepared. Their tongue genuinely feels slow and stiff. This first minute quietly fixes that problem. Second, you send your brain the very first clear signal of the entire day. Today, we are speaking English, and that single signal shapes everything that naturally follows afterward. Third, you begin building the identity of someone who genuinely starts their day this way, and that identity carries real power over time. Minute 2, the gratitude sentence. This is something most traditional English lessons never teach you, and it happens to be one of the most powerful techniques inside this entire system. In minute 2, you speak one single gratitude sentence in English. What exactly is a gratitude sentence? It is simply a sentence about something genuine you are thankful for in your life. For example, I am grateful for my family. They support me every single day. Or, I am thankful for this morning. I have another chance to improve myself today. Now you might honestly be wondering, Jack, why gratitude specifically? What does this have to do with learning English at all? The answer is genuinely beautiful once you understand it. When you feel real positive emotion while speaking English out loud, your brain quietly connects the English language itself to good feelings, to warmth, to safety, and to a sense of openness. And that emotional connection is incredibly important because one of the biggest hidden barriers to real fluency is purely emotional: fear, anxiety, and quiet self-doubt. When English feels scary or threatening to your brain, it automatically goes into a kind of protection mode. It becomes slow and it freezes completely. But when English instead feels safe and genuinely positive, your brain naturally opens up, words begin flowing far more easily, and sentences arrive far more naturally. So every single morning, speak one honest sentence of gratitude in English and actually feel the meaning behind it. Do not simply say the words mechanically. This quietly trains your brain to permanently associate English with genuine positive emotion, and that association will make speaking feel more natural for you with every single passing day. Minute 3, the description exercise. This is genuinely where the real language training truly begins. In minute 3, you look around your room or you look out your window and you describe out loud, in English, exactly what you see. Keep it very simple. Do not overcomplicate it. I see my bed. It is comfortable. My pillow is soft. The sky outside looks gray today. It seems like it might rain later. My coffee is hot. It smells wonderful. And I feel happy about that small thing. Now, why exactly is this particular exercise so powerful for your fluency? Because it actively trains your brain to observe the entire world directly in English, not in your native language first, followed by a slow mental translation, but directly in English from the very start. When you genuinely practice this every single day, something remarkable slowly begins to happen. You start noticing that throughout your regular day, English words simply come to you automatically when you look at ordinary things around you. You see a tree, and you instantly think, the tree is tall and green, without ever translating that thought first. The English simply arrives on its own. That is genuinely what thinking in English actually feels like. And thinking in English is the direct bridge towards speaking English fluently. Minute 4, the question game. In minute 4, you ask yourself one simple question in English, and then you answer it out loud, completely by yourself. The question can genuinely be about anything at all. Simple things about your everyday life. What am I going to do today? How did I actually sleep last night? What am I genuinely looking forward to this week? And then you answer honestly in English, without overthinking every single word, without worrying about achieving perfect grammar. You simply speak. For example, question, what am I going to do today? Answer, today I am going to work. I have a meeting scheduled in the morning. After work, I will cook dinner and maybe watch a film tonight. I want to sleep early this evening. Simple, natural, genuinely real. Now, here is the important psychological piece hidden inside this particular exercise. Many learners around the world freeze completely during real speaking because they are deeply afraid of silence, afraid of that specific moment when they simply cannot find the next word in their mind. And that exact fear creates even more silence, more freezing, more genuine frustration afterward. This question game specifically trains you to keep talking naturally, to expand your thoughts, and to add small details even when you are genuinely unsure what comes next. Because in a real, live conversation, nobody actually expects perfectly formed sentences from you. Nobody wants you standing there in silence. They simply want you to communicate something, anything at all. And this exercise quietly teaches your brain to communicate continuously, naturally, and comfortably. Start with short, simple answers, but every single day, gently push yourself to add just one more sentence, one more small detail, one more genuine idea, and watch how quickly your real speaking ability grows over time. Minute 5. The power affirmation. Now we arrive at the final minute, and some people might assume this is the least important minute of the 5. But honestly, I personally believe it might be the single most important one. In minute 5, you stand up straight, you take one deep breath, and you say your English affirmations out loud with real, genuine feeling behind them. Affirmations are simply positive statements about yourself and your own abilities. For example, I am becoming a confident English speaker every single day. English is getting easier and more natural for me with each passing day. I am not afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes genuinely help me grow stronger. I speak English with real confidence. I communicate clearly and naturally every single day. I am improving. Every single day I am getting a little bit better. Now, I need to be genuinely honest with you about affirmations, because many people around the world are naturally skeptical about them, and I completely understand that reaction. You might honestly be thinking, Jack, simply saying these things out loud does not automatically make them true. My English is still genuinely not good. How can I possibly say I am already a confident speaker? That is a completely fair and reasonable question. Here is my honest answer to it. You are not lying to yourself at all. You are actually programming your own future self. Think about professional athletes right before a major competition. They genuinely visualize success beforehand. They tell themselves, I am fully ready, I am strong, I will perform well today. Not because they are already flawlessly perfect, but because the human mind naturally follows whatever direction you consistently give it. When you tell your own brain every single morning that English is genuinely getting easier for you, your brain actively starts looking for real evidence to support that belief. It notices the specific moments when speaking felt natural. It notices genuine progress. It notices real improvement over time. And that growing awareness creates even more confidence. More confidence naturally creates more practice, and more practice ultimately creates real fluency. This final affirmation minute also does something else deeply important. It ends your entire morning practice on a genuine high note, with real energy, real belief, and real forward momentum. And that specific energy quietly stays with you throughout your entire day ahead. Now let's talk honestly about how to make this specific habit truly last over time. Because starting any new habit is genuinely easy, but keeping it alive is the truly hard part. Day 1 always feels exciting and fresh, but day 8 and day 12, those particular days, become genuinely hard for almost everyone. You feel tired, you feel like quietly skipping just this once. You tell yourself, just today I will skip it and simply do double tomorrow instead. And remember what Jack Ma himself once said, today is hard, tomorrow is harder, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people quit right on that hard middle day, right before their own beautiful day was about to arrive. So here are specific, practical strategies to make your own morning habit genuinely unbreakable. Strategy 1. Remove all friction. The single biggest enemy of any new habit is friction. Any small obstacle standing directly between you and your habit. If you have to search for materials in the morning, look for your card and decide what to say from scratch. That friction alone will quietly kill your habit on your genuinely tired days. So remove that friction completely the night before it even happens. Tonight, prepare your morning card, write your simple sentences down clearly, and place it directly on your bedside table. The less thinking you genuinely need to do in the morning, the more likely you are to actually complete your practice. Strategy 2. Anchor your habit firmly. Find something you already do every single morning without fail. The exact moment your alarm rings, the moment you stand up from bed, or the moment you turn on the kettle for your tea or coffee. Immediately after that specific anchor moment, begin your 5 minutes, not after checking your phone, not after breakfast. The anchor comes completely first, then English immediately follows, then everything else in your day. Strategy 4. Use the 2-minute rule. On your genuinely exhausted days, the days when everything feels difficult, make yourself one small promise. I will do at least 2 minutes today, not the full 5, just 2 minutes. Start speaking anyway. And here is what usually happens next. Once you genuinely start, once the habit is fully activated, you naturally tend to continue. Most of the time, your simple 2-minute promise quietly becomes 5 minutes anyway. But even if it genuinely does not, that is still an unbroken chain, still one more vote cast for your English-speaking identity. Never miss twice in a row. If you miss one single day, that is simply a small mistake. If you miss 2 days in a row, that is the genuine beginning of an entirely new habit, the wrong one. Strategy 5. Celebrate every small win. After you complete your 5 minutes each morning, take just 10 quiet seconds to genuinely feel it. Not a big, loud celebration, just a small internal one. A quiet smile, a small internal yes, a brief moment of genuine acknowledgement. You are quietly telling your own brain, this felt genuinely good. Let's do this again tomorrow morning. 5 minutes remains your absolute minimum, your true foundation, but it can genuinely grow naturally over time without any forced pressure. After your first full month, simply add 1 more minute. The following week, add 1 more minute again. Let it grow slowly and naturally on its own. Your morning habit will also naturally inspire the rest of your entire day. You will find yourself naturally continuing throughout the day, describing your lunch in English, inside your own mind, thinking about your afternoon plans directly in English. The morning habit is genuinely the seed, but your entire day slowly becomes the full garden around it. If you commute to work or school, put on English audio instead of silently scrolling your phone. Try repeating sentences out loud, and try shadowing what you hear closely. At lunch, take 5 extra minutes to write 3 simple English sentences describing your morning so far. Before sleep, spend 5 minutes quietly reflecting on your entire day, out loud or silently in your mind, directly in English. This gives your brain one more daily activation, and it genuinely helps your brain process the language while you sleep peacefully that night. On weekends, give yourself one slightly bigger challenge. Perhaps watch an English show and actively pause it to repeat certain lines. Or simply record yourself speaking for 2 full minutes and then honestly listen back to it. Learning a completely new language is genuinely about far more than simple communication alone. It is truly about personal expansion, becoming someone capable of connecting with other people from every single corner of this entire planet. Someone capable of accessing ideas, real opportunities, and genuine friendships that would otherwise remain completely out of reach. And it all genuinely starts with just 5 minutes, every single morning. I believe deeply that every single person who has stayed with me through this entire lesson genuinely has the real ability to become fluent, not because English itself is easy, but because you personally are fully capable. You showed up today, you stayed until the end, you listened carefully, and that already tells me something meaningful about who you truly are. Remember me, who was rejected by KFC while 24 others were accepted and rejected by Harvard 10 separate times, and rejected by 30 different companies after finishing his own education. If I had believed those rejections defined my entire future, none of what came afterward would have ever happened. Your 5 minutes tomorrow morning is your own quiet version of standing back up after rejection, of trying again the very next day, of refusing to let today's difficulty write your entire story. Let me end today with something Maria said after her own complete transformation. I once asked her directly, what would you honestly tell someone right at the very beginning, someone who currently feels genuinely hopeless about their own English? She thought quietly for a moment, then smiled warmly and said this: tell them that the morning is genuinely waiting for them. Tell them that tomorrow, when they wake up, before the phone, before all the noise, before the entire day takes over completely, 5 minutes truly belong to them alone. 5 minutes for English, 5 minutes for their own future. And if they genuinely do that tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that one too, they will slowly discover something genuinely beautiful, not just better English, but themselves. So today we covered why the morning truly is the most powerful time to build your English habit. The complete 5-minute system in full detail, English wake up, the gratitude sentence, the description exercise, the question game, and the power affirmation. We covered Maria's genuine story of transformation. We covered my own real story of rejection and quiet perseverance. We covered the 5 specific strategies to make your habit genuinely unbreakable. And we covered how to naturally build your entire English day around that single morning anchor. Now, before you go anywhere, I want you to do just one thing right now, this exact moment. Decide on your own morning anchor. What is the one specific thing you already do every single morning without fail? Decide that clearly. Then make yourself one honest promise. After that anchor, for 5 minutes, I will speak English. Write that promise down somewhere visible, or simply say it out loud to yourself right now. If you are genuinely serious about this, comment below with these exact words: my morning English starts tomorrow. Because the moment you say it clearly, you make it real. I genuinely believe in you, and I truly want to see you in the comments below. Tell me honestly how your day 1 actually goes. Tell me when your 5 minutes naturally become 10. If this lesson genuinely helped you today, please subscribe to this channel. We are building real fluency here together, one honest morning at a time. I'm Jack, and I will see you in the very next lesson. Good morning to your future self. It genuinely starts tomorrow.